Okay, we're here. Hello there.
Hi there.
I hope everything works. You can see us, you can hear us. For the swarm, of course, for the swarm. Right, so where we're gonna go start with. Today is basically StarCraft update. We want to take you through a couple things. I'm gonna be showing some models, miniatures later on. The most important is this. We last week or week so, we launched the on Friday for the small group. We launched the beta test rules app just to see how it goes. And today we're gonna be allowing another 400 people into the app. Most of you already are in the app, but we cannot get everybody in straight away, otherwise the database will crash and burn. So we have to take it in small portions of 400 people. But I can promise that tomorrow I'll try to get another 300, and day after another 300 people, so just make sure everybody's going to have a chance to go into this app. Now, very important to whom this app is. This is basically for people who are experienced in tabletop miniatures games, right? So if you played in the past previously, if you play any tabletop miniatures games, that's going to be the best one, because then you will be able to find yourself very easy to navigate around the rules and to read them and to understand them very, very quickly. There's some examples still missing, like visual examples. We're still working on them. Once we have them done and approved, I will upload in the app. So yeah, and also for the people who want to test the game and try it out. So with their own miniatures, because we send out how many groups? 60?
I believe it's around that number, yeah.
Yeah, about 60 group received miniatures from us. I mean, they were sent out last week, so they're in the process to being delivered, and some of them already got the miniatures, already play on with the miniatures. So yeah, we should get more feedback coming through. And within that couple of days of feedback, there was quite a lot of discussions on Discord. There was some feedback I will show you just in a minute. What we have received from the games, from people play the games, and where we are, and what things we have to work on, and what things will kind of improve and change. Just a quickie, we do have some questions from social media. Shimon will read them out, and then we'll try to answer them firmly, and then move back to the app and explain you step by step what to do and how to work with it. Okay?
So, StarCraft Beta, what are the metrics by which you're determining the most active playtesters? Is that based solely on engagement with the app, so logging games, or providing written feedback in the app, Discord activity, or some combination of the above? Clarity would be greatly appreciated for those who want to earn the discount.
Definitely both. So we're looking at the activity on Discord, we're looking at activity in the app itself. You have something. What is important, we need you, if you find something which is like fundamentally like game breaking, we need to get that information through app as well. So if you don't have access yet, don't worry about it. We're tracking through Discord and so on. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for the second question, pertaining to the discount itself, is there a limit to the amount of product that the discount can be applied to? I have several friends who will be playtesting with me. It would be nice to buy a few things for them with the discount, considering that they are also going to be donating their time to this project.
Kind of makes sense, but we haven't. At the moment, we only say this discount will be for the starter box, for the starter box itself, and we're not sure whether it's going to be like a global discount, because we're a little bit worried that people are going to be abusing this, as always happens. So I'm not saying your group will be, but give us some time to think how we're going to be working out. But at the moment, it's just for the starter box, a single starter box, by the way. So it's going to be a very good discount. Yeah. Let's move on to next questions.
Mm-hmm. StarCraft, concerning the models, how flexible and compatible are the kits of Jim Raynor and the normal Marines? Can they interchange parts for conversion?
Unfortunately not. Maybe experienced people can do that, no problem whatsoever. But Jim Raynor's got its semi-monopose miniature, so you have to assemble the way it's been provided. He's got two weapons, he's got additional head options, he's got a drone, obviously, and two different type of bases. So you have this. I have only one mini. I got two. 1 second. So let's just move on quickly to camera. I'm going to show you. This is unpainted Jim Raynor. Yeah. So as I mentioned, he's semi monopose, and that's the other version of it. So you can use either of the bases. Actually, both bases are the same. We have also the other base, which is the industrial base somewhere. I won't be able to show you at the moment. I wasn't ready for that question anyway, but that's the different version. So we have a helmet with clear plastic. You have a sniper rifle. I think this one is, yeah, you can basically do it like this. So, yeah. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You can glue it in or just not glue it in, have it like that. Let's go.
Same question for Artanis and Adepts. So yeah, same answer here. It's not really possible unless you're very, very experienced.
That's correct, but he's got many options, by the way, many assembly options. Himself, you can do... So he's actually quite a unique model. You can do either short hairs. He's got the different variant of short hairs. He's got different blade. He's got the Zeratul blade as well. You can do without the blades, or you can do with the what was the name of the skill?
Orbital bombardment.
Orbital bombardment skill, kind of like, yeah, the thingy which is coming down. So he's got several different options of assembly, and also has got 2 different bases, if I'm correct. So yeah, and that's the model, by the way. So lovely plastic model. By the way, it's got lots of those things like little plastic elements, so you can paint them. You can just basically leave them unpainted. I got plenty of models to show you today, so we're gonna go with that. Let's move on. Let's jump next question, Siobhan.
Yeah. How long do we have to wait for Firebats? They look trivially easy to convert from Marauders. Maybe give us some beta rules so people are willing to convert their own and can play them on day one.
So not on day one, that's for sure. We haven't got the rules for them yet, to be honest. And they're gonna be wave number 3 or maybe wave number 4 release. So it's gonna take some time to get there. We have other things which we currently work on for the new releases. The Firebat, yeah, I mean they need it. We know that they need it because the Terra needs some screening against a close combat units or close combat in general. We're gonna there just in a second in terms of what has changed in the game in the last couple of days, but let's move on to the next question.
And last but not least, can you show us some of the pictures of the beta testers and what they've built so far? Yeah, that's basically it.
I don't have any photos, to be honest. I've seen some of floating on Facebook and on, I think, Discord. Somebody shared on Discord as well, yeah? But just expect them to come through.
Yeah, regarding painted models, are people allowed to paint their playtesting models?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they fully up. I mean, they're gonna stay with them as long as they don't want to sell it.
Okay, well there you go, folks.
It was the case that the problem had. So when I'm gonna be quite frank with you guys. When we first announced that we're looking for the groups and we're gonna be sending models to groups, all of a sudden, somewhere on Telegram, on other portals, people were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get those models, sell them straight away on eBay." So we were like, "Oh, hold on one second. This is not the idea. We want to send you models to play and playtest the game, give us feedback." And for that, just keep the models for yourself, for your group, for the for the people who are going to be playtesting the game, and so on. And so we needed to put a small restriction there about who owns them. So yes, we own them. You paint them, no problem. We own them. But if you try to sell them, you don't own them anymore. Simple as that. So yeah. Unfortunately, you learn very quickly that we have to be careful of those things. Let's move on to the next one. Maybe.
Can you clarify again if rosters are public? Maybe I misunderstood the last Amma because because of Fog of War, you don't know what your enemy brings in. No, so at the beginning of the game, both players do reveal their rosters, right? Like the fog of war.
There is no mandatory. There's no mandatory to reveal. No, there's no mandatory at the moment. The rules doesn't state it, so it's not mandatory to actually show your enemy roster whatsoever. It is typical in any tabletop miniatures games that you bring what you want to play today, and enemy just learn through the game that you actually bring in. In this game, it's even much more better because you might have different type of openings, and if your enemy going look at your list, you might say, okay, I know your opening now. I know how to counter from the round first or turn first. So it's not fully open. You just bring the stuff you have, and obviously at the end of the game we just exchange the roster just to make sure that everything was correct and whatever. But that's the main rules for for the game itself. Yeah. So you do a roster at home, keep it for yourself, bring it on a day of the playing. You wanna, yeah.
Can we already see the template weapons for blast templates and flamer templates to get a better understanding? I had several discussions about the rules, therefore. Also, the question, will the range damage rule you can't kill what you see, also apply to the blast template?
Everything you have written in the app. In the app, they have the rules for the template. It's quite clearly stated exactly what you can kill it, what you cannot kill it. So template, in terms of round templates, you have a line of sight from the template itself. So wherever you position the template, this is what you're going to kill. And for the blast, it's basically standard range rules. So you have to have the not for the blast, for the flamers. So both things are covered in the rules already. And yeah, thus far we didn't have no discussion about that. In terms of templates, you're going to be see some templates in that document, how they work once we have the visual example. So the next, I can only sneaky peek that the next releases will have some plain templates. And in terms of templates, how to obtain them, when you're going to buy the box with the miniatures, you will find the template in there. Okay, so you wouldn't have to buy anything extra. We're not going to be selling you on, selling you additional or hiding some units behind the paid wall. You have that one. You're going to have that one with the unit itself.
And why did you decide that it's not possible to shoot into melee?
That is not correct release statement. You can actually shoot into melee. If you engage with a unit, you are engaged with, you can actually shoot that unit every round. That unit get the benefit of additional armor save. That's what it is. Now, why we didn't allow like 100% shooting in unit? We did that several times. We tested, we play tested. It's not fun. It's absolutely no fun. So the factions which rely on close combat and factions which rely semi on close combat, like Zerg, for instance, they were getting completely obliterated. So it wasn't fun. It was one-sided fun. So we decided to tune it back and forth a little bit on that. Now, some factions like Terran have options to actually shoot into combat. The Goliath, we did small change to Goliath today, which allowed one of the weapons to actually shoot to combat. And we also allow the Terrans got a card, one of the special skills on their cards, building cards, allow actually to make one additional range attack into combat. But normally, no. It was a beautiful balance and fun.
And another question, will you be releasing heroes in different eras? For example, Stukov/Kerrigan not invested, Jimon as Vulture in the early days of StarCraft 1. This one definitely for sure. We have mentioned this a couple of times before as well, but we do definitely have plans to release different eras of heroes. And not only heroes actually for that matter, we also plan to release a variety of different factions, like for example UED, Overmind, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And another question from the Discord, StarCraft again, how far in advance, if at all, will you give beta rules or the real deal for units not yet having official models? As for two examples, people will most likely want to proxy ghosts and could also easily convert firebats from the Marauder kit. But will they have rules from the start or later, or really just if and when the official models are released?
Yes, so we want to take a little bit different strategy than other games. So this app we have developed will be used also after we finish the beta. So anything like new rules you will find in that app, and the small group or maybe bigger group will be able to actually play test it with us and give us feedback, and then basically work on those things to make sure they're fully perfectly balanced. So we will have them, but not at the get-go. It's too much. We've had some plans about adding additional unit, but to be honest, we're too close to release to actually start messing around with that. So anything you can see, anything you have seen it is what we have, and in the future we're going to be adding more.
Mm-hmm. Related and similar, how much variety in rules for existing models and their possible conversions will we see, and at what pace? Take Marines, for example. They showed up in so many variants in both games. You could even convert infested Marines from day one. But what if and when will we see rules for them?
When the times come, and yeah, definitely you will find some rules for those units. So one of the beauty of StarCraft is that we can create additional units, and then we can use the same model. So like the prime example is Marines and the Rhino Raiders. So Rhino Raiders are a separate unit of Marines. Use exactly the same Marines. You can paint them differently, what's not, and so on. So that gives us possibility to release more and more different type of units just within that spectrum of the models, of the Marines models. Okay. Sorry for that.
I mean, it's also worth noting that when it comes to like specific variants, some of them will obviously require an entirely different model. We most likely, well, we definitely won't be releasing like all the variants just for the rules at the start. It's probably going to take us some time to get there as well, just rules-wise. But yeah, I mean, they will definitely be coming in the future.
Yeah, that's correct.
And apart from models, will we see terrain and or objective markers in plastic? I'm not talking about in-game buildings here, but both generic terrain, like Sinal Naga Towers, and possibly faction-specific other terrain. I don't see why not.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you ask for?
Like specific terrain or objective markers in plastic in the future.
Yes. Not to start with, but in the future, yes.
Mm-hmm. And one more question from this guy. Related to terrain and models overall, are decals coming? Terrans in particular would benefit from decals for models and terrain, but I can see it done for all factions.
Sorry?
Decals.
Oh, no decals. We don't plan any decals at this stage. Mm-hmm. It's too late. It's really too late to release, and maybe in the future, but it's complicated stuff with decals.
Mm-hmm. Maybe let's go through some questions in the chat first as well, because they probably...
I was reading right now. This was the one I wasn't paying attention what what he was reading. Okay. If you want to get all the content of the pre-order stage, I will need the Founders Pack, Terran vs. Z, and Protoss, but also the Stalker, Goliath, and Hydra boxes. And what else?
So we're going to be releasing bundles when pre-orders go live. So if you want to get everything, you can just get everything in one bundle and not have to worry about it. Of course, you can just individually add stuff if you want to as well, but it's going to be less worth than just getting the bundle.
Sure, in terms of any type of collab, please get in touch with our team. I think if you go through the website and send the email to marketing, they will definitely gonna be able to answer to you straight away. If not, just send message through, I think YouTube also allows that, yeah? Mm-hmm. So. Oh no, don't do that. Please don't do super chat, please. I don't know how to, I don't know how to refund that. Please don't do that. But thank you. European languages, we start with English, and then in the future we're going to be doing other languages. So we need to start with English first, and then we see where this one will going to go. Which Discord channel do you use? Is the Wargame one? The Archon Studio has the sub-channels, right? If I'm not correct, which is StarCraft.
Yeah. We have our own Discord server, which is like separated into various different projects, and StarCraft is one of them. So yeah, you can just join our server and just post in the StarCraft channel.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
You have some rules for Zeratul. I bought the mini, but I don't know what he will be good for at the game. So the rules for Zeratul, they're going to release at the same time as the standard version of the miniature, because the version that we
haven't announced that yet. Okay.
We've already mentioned it a couple times now.
Okay.
Of course, we're not saying exactly when it's going to be released or anything, but the promo model for Zeratul specifically, it's just going to be available during events. Or trade shows, whereas the regular version is going to be available just for sale normally. And once that version comes out, we're also going to be releasing the rules for it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a question regarding the app itself, so just want to show you quickly. Yes, you can. So what you do, you just basically click that button over here. Now, you only generate the text for this section. So this section, which is the core rules, right? So when you push the button on it, it will be processing, and then it will download the document generating, and you should have the document downloaded. And looks like I'm not going to be able to show you that, but it moves away. But anyway, you are able. So what you have to do section by section. I was trying to do everything in one go, but it didn't let me. Well, it didn't let me. The document is quite large because the pictures we have there, they have to be translated to base 64, which generates quite a lot of processing power needed for the web browser. But yes, you are able to do that. And if we just go back here quickly, I'll try to find this document for you and show you how the document looks. So in general, when you go here, this is how downloaded looks. So once you open up downloaded, you have all the rules for this section. You have also notes. So once you play or once you read, you can put the notes you want here and so on. So yeah, this is how the that section looks. And then obviously you have to go section by section. Okay. Let's move on over there. Let's close this. Shimon, let's go to the next question. Okay. Yeah, I know, but today, sorry for that, but today we had like, we needed to do that because I wanted to explain how app works, and we had some questions, and we have some feedback to show you. So yeah, that's good.
I read a guy's question on Facebook, and I was wondering the same. Each race has different sub-factions. Will there be models for them? For example, Artanis and his Protoss and Alaric and Tal'Darim. Yeah, absolutely. In the future, we're definitely going to be releasing the entire range of models that you can, well, that you're probably familiar with from the game. Yeah, this includes Aya Zealots, you know, Blood Hunters for Tal'Darim, anything that's, you know, faction specific.
Exactly. So you can use any type of paint. We don't have any limitation. It's just plastic, so you can use any company's paints. So I just removed some Easter eggs. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So the playtest has actually been open now. Once we let in everybody, so that 2,000 people almost, we will notify you on Facebook that look, and if it's not app is not gonna crash, we will let more people in. However, you can go always to Discord. We don't mind if people are going to share rules. Really, the app is only to provide feedback to us for actually having the good and very nice tool to work with and see where the game goes and how the game develops, and having, you know, engage with the community for this type of stuff. But you know, if somebody's gonna download PDFs and then share PDFs, we don't mind. I don't mind. At the end of the day, as long as I'm gonna get some feedback for that about the game itself, then great. Next one.
Well, let's go from the second one. So, StarCraft, will there be a limit to the Nidus Worm abilities / units with similar transport functions for where to spawn or offload units? It'd be quite annoying when your opponent just offloads a few models somewhere randomly behind the front line.
It's well, that's the core of the game, actually, to be honest. So yes, you can do that. In most of the cases, you can do one every round, and there's a limitation for that, depending on the faction, because you have to obviously spend you have to spend resources for that. So it's not like you can get it for free. Most of the things you have to spend resources to actually get that happen, and they're quite expensive, frankly. So, but it's a core of the game. It's a core of the game because the problem is we allow people. So the control points are sticky. So what does it mean? You don't have to have a unit within that area of the control point. You just basically cap it and it's yours. Like you stick the flag over there. So we have to have ways of people to countering this. Otherwise, I'll push the front line with my close combat unit as far as possible onto your side of the board, and you're never going to be able to reclaim those points. So when you design the game, when you look at this one, how everything behaves on the table, you think, okay, so this is cool, but now we have to give options to other players to counter this type of gameplay. So that's why we have so many ways of actually bringing models, either through kind of the different deployment zones, or just appearing, or drop pods, or whatever. And it actually goes with the life, or goes with the flavor, or guys still doing this. It's going with the flavor of the game itself, of the StarCraft game itself.
Yeah, it's just a part of the core rules, part of the core experience. So if everyone has access to it, it's a base mechanic. It's not really problematic.
Yeah.
I know carriers will be too large to fit on the battlefield, but can we get interceptors?
Yes.
How powerful will heroes be? Will they be just for support, or do they absolutely annihilate the opposing army?
This is a very interesting question. And so the way we balance the game based on the damage output for units. So effectively, the hero itself on a paper, if you look at the just pure stats, it's in a points wise, it's good as any other unit, because obviously the points. What makes heroes special? It's the special skills the heroes has. So, and here comes the the beauty of it. So you can put your Kerrigan on the middle of the table. She's gonna get obliterated if a Goliath or maybe Marine's gonna shoot at her. However, if you start using the special skills and you know what you're doing, so you have to learn the game, so better you're gonna get it, more effective they're gonna be. Your heroes will be in the game. So it's not like at the get-go. Yes, I know the feeling sometimes is not the greatest, that I put my great hero and my hero is it's that in a straight away, and it doesn't soak up all the damage of enemy army. But it's not core of the game basically. So it's not hero war game. It's basically units war game. So yeah. So I would say they're fairly balanced.
Will there be off-map support, for example, BCs, Ravens, Broodlords, etc.?
Yes. You can look at them. You can look at the cards now, and you can see there's off-map supports like Medivac. So those things, yes.
Will the siege tank models have the ability to transform on the board, or do we have to choose either siege mode or not when building the model from the sprue?
Yes, when you build model from the sprue, you're going to have to choose which option you're going to build it. Fortunately, yes. However, we provide a small plastic token, like a mini siege tank token, so indicates its actually status in the game. So if you want to just have one which is assembled, did I just spoil that the siege tank will be available at some point? I did, didn't I? I mean, yeah, I just spoiled it, sorry. But yeah, you got me there. That was a tricky question. Okay.
Will each wave also bring new tactic cards?
Yes. The tactic cards, mission cards, and deployment cards. That's the whole concept. And actually, mission cards and deployment cards will be the heroes. So we want to available heroes. Obviously, on our website as well, so you can download them, print them if you want to use them. If you don't have to buy heroes. But tactical cards with the new units as well. They have to have their own unique tactic cards.
StarCraft beta rules. Since the leading model is a fluid model, how is it determined if a unit is in or out of coherency when scoring objectives? It doesn't say to declare a unit leader during this step. Is it possible to be unable to get all models into coherency after a move, yet still have a unit be in coherency if a different leader is chosen?
The coherency, according to the rules as stated at the moment, are only triggered and checked when the move is finished. So any type of move is finished, and this is where we say, okay, this is the coherency. It's not like I'm going to lose additional models, I'm going to lose the coherency. In general, you're still going to have a coherency till you're going to make another move. So it only might happen when you decided to push your unit a little bit forward, and then all of a sudden you don't have that 3-inch because you just want to, go straight line and whatever. So that's only one conditions when it might happen. There's other conditions, obviously. You might not cap it because you use models, and it's based on the supply, by the way. But yes, that's what it is. Next question, Simon.
StarCraft, first time wargamers, maybe this is a me issue. Any chance we could get components to indicate which units have which unit upgrades? Like a card or a token to indicate a Marine has the AGG-12 upgrade instead of the base C-14 rifle. Something on the table to reflect that information.
Yeah, you have that on... 1 second. 1 second. When on the models? They painted, but they were painted correct variants. So you have that one on the models. You have these upgrades on the models. So let me show you quickly. I have unpainted models, so I'm happy to show you that. Right? So that's not C14. That's AGG-12. So you just glue that model there. If you need a shield, you glue that model on a shield. A slug thrower here, and also grenades. This model doesn't have grenades, but you can glue it in as well. And that's your model with a C14 rifle. So it's depending how you assemble your models. Next question.
What are the chances of Immersion and Tyrador getting unique models and rules? Definitely in the future. Again, well, Immersion is probably easier because we have physical assets in the game, or skins, that we can use. But it's definitely going to be reserved for like very far into the future releases, because they simply just don't have any like gameplay, unique gameplay loops in StarCraft. Whereas we can just point to like a co-op faction and be like, hey, this faction has access to this and this ability. Whereas for emojis, we know they're high tech, but we don't really have like an easy way to judge what sort of abilities they should have.
That's correct. Yeah, thank you. No, we don't do any NDA for the rules. I think people need to know what they're buying, basically. And they have options to, test the game before. I mean, that's normal in a video game. Like, you want to buy any type of video game, you have to try it out, isn't it? That's how it works. So, yeah.
How do you guys approach activation advantages in your game, since it's a game with alternating activations? So, for example, the Zerg has 7 units on the table, and the Protoss has like 4.
So activation, the way it works, you have phases. So you have a movement phase, assault phase, and close combat phase. And each of the phases, we do alternate activations. So if I finish my activation first, I'm going to be first one to activate in the next phase. Usually, most of the cases, because you have to pass it. You could pass it as well. So imagine Zerg going with 7 units on the table and Protoss going 4. Most likely, every single phase, Protoss will be first one to act in each of the phases, which means after we finish movement, we go into assault. So I'm going to be first one to assault. I'm going to be first one to make in range attack, and with my first unit, obviously. And then when we go to close combat, I'm going to be first to make a range close combat attack. So that's the benefit of actually having less activation than your enemy. Most of the cases, you're going to be seizing initiative for each of the phases.
And of course, if you have more activations, it also just allows you to have more map presence. It's more like a counterbalancing system.
Yeah. It's not bad, it's really good, though. I mean, I like it. Works. The most important, it works. According to feedback from people, by the way, so it's not like... Okay, let's go.
Zealots have 4 to 6 speed, or 4 to 7 speed, sorry. For a full unit, you want to charge a unit of Zerglings 8 inches away. If you roll a 1, the charge fails, but if only 1 Zealot is left, the charge is successful. Is this intentional?
Yes.
Yes.
It is intentional. This is exactly the same principle as you will find in a surge die. So surge die is always constant, regardless of how many models you have on a table if from the unit. So the surge die, we're always going to give you 3d3, even if there's 9 models. So here we want to do exactly the same, self-balance the game, kind of. If the unit is less models, it's much more easy for that unit to get into the combat. So in fact, at this moment, it's just 1 model, right, left from the unit. Yeah. And yeah, close combat units kind of need that one, especially when it comes to getting damaged, and then all of a sudden you have just 1 unit which is not even able to get in charge. But that will be a small boost for that unit to actually get in charge and do some damage. Still, reclaim the points.
And how will you...
there was more question.
Yeah, how will you obtain new army/faction cards? Will they be available with new heroes?
Yes. I just mentioned this one, yes. Mm-hmm. So going to be new stuff, available with the new releases.
Mm-hmm. Any thought on including some flavor quotes on the bottom of the unit cards, such as how MTG does it?
Yeah.
I know Zeratul at least included them on the box.
We wanted to do that, and it was removed by licensor. So I think we're gonna be skipping with this version of release. Maybe in the future, when we found more time, then yeah, maybe yes. But at the moment, we needed to remove the quotes.
If you could join any faction, Zerg, Terran, or Protoss in real life, which would it be and why?
Shimon?
It's hard for me to say. I mean, it depends on my position, obviously. It's not like I can just, if I'm just enlisting as a grunt, probably Protoss, but if I could pick, like, I don't see why you wouldn't join Zerg as like a broodmother, or like a stew cob or something. I don't know.
My heart, that's the left side, right? That's my heart, and then next to my heart is look what is like next to my heart. It's basically Zerg. So yeah, I would join Zerg straight away. No discussions. Okay, next one.
For the StarCraft miniature game, will the cards come with each unit per box? If the rules get updated, will there be a release file so we can print out the updated cards?
Whenever we're going to be releasing any patches, node patches, or any fixes, you will be notified, and it's going to be on the website to download, and also in the future casts. Nothing in this game will be hidden behind the paid wall. We make such a beautiful miniatures. You get such a great things in those miniatures, like a clear plastic and so on. Then there's no need of hiding models, because people are not going to buy models. At the end of the day, even if you collect models, they're still gonna look amazing on a shelf, especially with those additional bits and bobs we add into to miniatures. Yes, I did say that one, but today it is StarCraft only dedicated today, but I am unable to tell you anything because we make bundles, and we're gonna keep in bundles and information about bundles just a couple of days before releases, just to let you know what exactly is there, because we're still working on them, and I want to give you some information now which is not gonna be true later. Okay.
Yeah, and adding on to what you just said, this is a StarCraft focus stream. It's outside of the regular loop of our normal live streams. Our normal live stream is still planned for later this week, right?
Yes. The normal Ask Me Anything is still planned for Friday. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a normal on Friday. So if you're going to have still more questions regarding any of our projects, please wait till Friday. Today is just dedicated to StarCraft. I'll try to answer some maybe some questions here, but yeah, one more question. I saw you have different equipments. It is still old. What you see is what you get. Well, kind of is. I would say it is, yeah.
You have to keep in mind that a lot of upgrades aren't even really visible on the model, though. Where you can't really do a full what you see, what you get, because there's just no way of telling. So you have to keep that in mind at least.
Okay. Let's maybe check some questions here, Shimon.
If a unit of Marines has enough non-lethal damage to lose models in the calculations in combat, would taking 0 damage trigger the loss of models?
Please check the rules, because it's clearly stated in the rules that you have to take at least 1 damage. At least 1 damage to trigger your damage pool effectiveness. So if you don't get any damage, there's no trigger on damage pool.
StarCraft, at what frequency should we expect new factions and characters to be released?
At the moment, we're looking at maybe every 2 months, maybe every 3 months, but that's what we're looking at this stage. We still don't know how many people are going to pre-order the core game, and that's going to be kind of it might affect the way how we're going and how fast we're going to be releasing just at the get-go, at the first few months. Because if you have so much to manufacture, then obviously you're not going to be able to do another releases, because we have to manufacture and ship that one to you guys, and then you have to play and so on. It's going to be kind of good, because then we have more time to playtest additional rules and additional units we plan to release in the future. But effectively, once we get into the cycle of releases, we're going to carry on cycle of releases. I would say yes, expect at least tanks. Maybe not carriers. And flying units, yes. The flying units are coming. I mean, if you look at the app itself and the rules itself, they are covering also flying units. Although we needed to remove fly from the cards, from the tactical cards, slots for the fly units, just because it was not enough room for the text in there.
Rules question: when reinforcements arrive, should we declare that the units we are going to bring in during that turn, or can we decide during the game when to bring in a unit from the reserves?
It's definitely up to you. You can decide. You can actually decide not to bring any if you want. If you see on a battlefield you want to keep your supply for the next round because you have 2 larger units you want to bring in a tandem to combo, you may do that as well. So it's not mandatory. It's a freedom, absolutely freedom. So the whole concept about you set up those Zerlings, no problem. I will set up something what is actually countering the Zerlings. That was the whole idea about what I can actually deploy this round. I'm not forced, or there's no mandatory forcement to actually do deployment. Although you have to bear in mind that every single unit which is still in the supply, which is still in the reserves at the end of the game is actually punishing you heavily. So you've got to have them on a table. You want to have them on a table, otherwise point-wise you might lose the game. Okay, let me just quickly switch to this device. We're gonna go through. I just want to show you the feedbacks already we have collected. So we received over weekend, we received 16 bat reps. We actually got 2,302 different logs. So different logs are different type of suggestions and the rule logs and so on and so on. Now, this is the average score per rules as written, as people understand them. So you can see out of 18 people who actually read the rules, they're scoring around about 9, so the very good average for the rules. There are some 8 we're going to be investigating, looking into this one. But that's the team task to actually go through it. Now, looking at the battle reps, that's the section for the core rules, as I mentioned. So we have some good number of feedback on the rules itself. The unit cards and so on, this is exactly the same. Some of the units might need a fixing because, again, all the 6s, all everything, when people giving us those numbers, this means there's something needs to be done. Although there's a lot of feedback there, we're waiting for more feedback to come through, guys, from you. Matchups are interesting at the moment. As you can see, Protoss is actually knocking everybody out of the park at 73% of win rate. Now, there's a couple things in that battle report we noticed. First of all, people play random points. They don't play like 1,000 points games or 2,000 points games. Effectively, we would like the playtest groups to play at 2,000 points games because this is how the game is purely designed for. The skirmish mode for 1,000 points is the mode when you want to try the game and see how the game works. But effectively, the best balance we should be found at 2,000 points. Games. Now, there are some things we have to look into is the range versus melee is 0.2. This is something we have to see it. Apparently, something against Terran and Protoss, which is causing the small disruption. So we did small changes now in the units just to reflect that one. The phase flow 7.8. We're still looking at the comments here, how we can improve. Some of the scoring, like you can see, 4.1 for mobility. This is basically between 1 and 5, and between 1 and 5. So whenever it's green, it's good. Whenever it's yellow, this is also scoring from 1 to 5. Rest of the scoring is 1 to 10. Yeah, so not that bad. StarCraft vibe is 8.4. Engagement is 7.7, which is good for the game. Emotions almost 8. Depth of the game is 7.6. The high score is actually repeatability, which we have 8.8. So that's good. Tactic systems we are very proud about it. This is basically tactic cards and everything around it. Sits at 8.6. The point I was very interesting to see the scoring is for the search die, which is 8.7. It's very good. So all in all, I would say it's not bad. It's not bad. And here we have all the feedback from Terran, Protoss, and so on. Now, this number needs to go to at least 200, and we hope we're going to have at least data from 200 games, and this will flush out many issues, problems, and so on from the game. So there's several changes we did. In fact, if you go to main rules and if you go scroll down, I added small section here just towards the end of here, I believe. Where I did that, I think I did that. Where I did that? The cool mechanic. 1 second. Let's go to changelog. So the changelog, you can see all the things I changed today. We were adding some rules. We changed some rules, and so on. It was actually here. Okay, that's the main changelog. So this is going to be interesting to people who actually already played the game and read the rules. So it's lots of you guys, but we want to go through that one as well. So Marines for the Terran, Marines and Rhino Raiders, and Marauders. Steam pack actually it's been boosted. So non-lethal damage on that one is reduced from 3 to 2. Slag thrower and grenade frag range increased from 6 to 8 inches. Marine reduced the combat shield. We changed CP cost from 2 to 1, and the rules actually changed. This time it's actually does slightly different. So this unit is always eligible to make evade roll against any close combat attacks targeting it and any damage from enemy special abilities. This means, so when it comes to special ability, this means things like impact hits, right? So those things. Rhino Raiders for the Marines, unit supply per model remaining unchanged. So it's 1, 0, 6, and so on. Jim Raynor, Freedom Fighters and orders range increase from 6 to 8. Medics, life support and medipack range increase from 3 to 4 inches. Medic restoration increase from 6 to 8 inches. And that's the big one. Here for the Goliath, we changed the underbelly machine gun. It's replaced with long range with pinpoint keyword. So the pinpoint means you can actually make a range attack into combat with Goliath. So when other units engage or Marines are engaged with, let's say, Zerglings, Goliath will be able to target them. Just with this weapon, right? And then Academy, some changes to Academy, some and some other changes. I mean, I'm not going to be reading through everything. If you want to know the reasons behind those things, we'll let you know. The big one for Protoss is Zealots. The unit's armor reduced from 4+ to 5+, so that was a reduction for Zealots. The unit cost reduced from, so it actually reduced the cost. We reduced the cost from Zealots from 190 points to 170 points. And then the Pretor Guards, the unit cost also reduced by 20 because of the armor is changed. Sentry reduced the hit points to 4. What else was the big one? There's several here additional which are big ones, so you can go through it. So that's those things. Now, about this app, because we're going to be letting quite a lot of people today. So this is where you're going to find the main rules. So the core rules, you can flick through. You can download here PDF on the right corner. You can flick through, go through the pages down the bottom here, and then you go through each of the sections of the game, right? So you find some examples of the rules. Now here, this is the changes we did for the rules. There's several changes we have made to the core rules. I left them like that just to make sure to people who already play the game that they understand that we are doing some small changes. And as mentioned, this is just for the beta. So if you've never played any tabletop miniatures games, read it through, but please don't judge this game by this, because it's just for the advanced people at the moment to for them to actually play the game and see how the game works. Faction cards, here you're going to find all the faction cards. Now they are only beta cards, right? So when you click on them, you can see the front and the back of the card, all the explanations here on the cards. You can download front and the back. What you can also do, you can print all the Z cards. When you push that button, it will generate PDF with every single card and the latest version. The latest version, it says down the bottom, version 45. Now, how does it look? It looks like this. So it's a print friendly, is it? No, it's called print friendly, but it's not very print friendly. But you know what I mean. Yeah. So you will find all the cards to play the game. Tactical cards, the same story here. You can print. Well, you printed all the cards already because they're in that folder over there. But anything you want, like tactical cards, you will find here, text. And then 2 faction cards, which we have. I know it's a small space here, some of the cards being cut, but all the text is there, so shouldn't be causing much problem. And in the game, you'll find the missions and deployments. So this is your deployments. You can always download them and print them. Army builder, this is when you construct your army. This is when you select your cards to start with. And obviously I got several cards selected, so you won't be able to see it, and then you select your cards, your slots getting unlocked for different type of units, and then basically you select the units you want to play, you select the upgrades for each of the unit. It's easy, self-explanatory. If you cannot actually select something, when you click on it, it will tell you the reasons why you cannot actually select the army. What is very important here, please save in a cloud your army roster. It's very important. We need that seed number here. That seed number is important because when you're going to play the game, when it comes to actually reporting back to us, this is the reporting tool. You put your nickname here. It's either Discord or the one you have it on your email. And then we provide the seed number for your army and then enemy army, and then we need you to fill in all the feedback from top to bottom to understand, to give us the feedback what exactly we have to work on. We work on the data, I work on the numbers, so I'm only gonna be touching things which I think the numbers tells me to do, not like, like one individual gonna tell me I have to change this. Fine, I need to see whether other people expecting exactly the same. So that's very important to actually provide feedback back to us. You obviously select the mission you play, you select the deployment you play, and here you just basically explain what you think about the game, how your game went, and so on, so on, so on. Yeah, that would be all. Rest of the stuff, you're not going to be see those things. You don't see this dashboard, you don't see the checker. That's for us. This is internal tool. There's also Dice Simulator. At the moment, it's not updated. I didn't have the time to sit down to the code and update it. But in general, if you want to, you can still use it. Give you the average rolls and average amount of attacks, so depending on dice number and depending on value you have to hit, and then depending on defenses rolls. Okay. What else on the dashboard? Oh, we just get new oh, look at this. New battle just came through. And the Protoss is going down. That's before we did the changes, so yeah. Effectively, you want to hit like equal 50, 50, 50. But yeah, it's going to be difficult because we have to get so much data come through in order to actually have that one. Okay, let's go through quickly maybe some through questions, and then we're gonna be finishing for today. As I mentioned, today's stream was only about StarCraft, only about this new app, and now only about the changes, and most importantly because we're gonna be letting so many people in, we need to explain them how to use this. Soon, we're planning to record a few of them. We're also going to be shipping out a lot of models miniatures now to our YouTubers, and then they will do much better than us to record the demos. So yeah, once we have that one done, they will be posted on YouTube.
How will you manage to balance the game for each release of new units? Will you have to rebalance the entire game after each release, or waves? Hopefully not. It's not in our plans, no.
Absolutely not. So
I don't think that's that much of an issue.
I mean, about balancing. When we give math, we use quite a lot of math in the game itself. I won't be able to show you this one. I wanted to show you one document which we use. So we basically use a lot of balancing stuff. So we have like loads of balance math, and then we take one unit and the next unit, and we fight it against unit. Depending how the unit fight each other, this is how it works. Yeah. Okay. What else, Simon?
I received an invitation to be a playtester last week, but I haven't received any login information yet. Yeah, so again, we're releasing access to the playtests progressively, so not everyone has access yet, but you will soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, capital ships won't be models. Where can I see what products are being released and prices so I can budget accordingly? We haven't released a full list of prices yet. At the moment, we've only revealed more or less the two-player starter set. The Founders Edition will be about $200, but apart from that, we haven't gone like really in depth into like the actual prices yet. How far along are you with the rules for new units? For example, the rules for Siege Tanks, Flyers, Ghosts already done, or you're just waiting for the miniatures approval?
The new units, we work on them. Well, currently we just we stop any work on doing anything which is like new units because we have to flush out and we have to fix what we have at the moment to fix. So once we fix those things, we're gonna move on to the new units. So, but them being like structure at the moment, yes. About the pre-order dates, we're still aiming at the end of the end of before 10th of March. So we're still aiming at that one. We still have to have some things to do. We still have to get some final approvals. Once we get the final approvals, we will definitely come back to you on those things. Yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna be finishing for today because that was the whole concept. Hey, sure, man, just get in touch with us, get in touch with our team, or I'll ask my team to get in touch with you. Anything bigger than Ultra Risk won't have minis? I don't think so. I mean, the Ultra Risk is one of the biggest miniatures going to be available. Yes, that's correct, yes. Yes, we do. We always keep hiring people. You want to join our development team? No problem. More than welcome. So again, estimated for the pre-orders, we're planning to do pre-orders around about the, as we mentioned, the, tell me, by 10th of March. There's no Ravager behind me anymore. Yeah. Okay. It is kind of it is. I mean, the app is for the feedback, and then obviously if somebody download the rules and share the rules, then it's all okay. We can still do that. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Okay, guys, we're gonna be finishing for today because it's 1 hour already, and the next AMA is on, tell me, Friday. We plan next summer for Friday, so you're more than welcome to join us.
But that's going to be like the general live stream.
Yes, that's going to be general. Exactly. So once we're there, we're there on Friday. And you have more questions, please come. Okay, there's some more question coming up. We have a limited count for reactions abilities per activation, as per round was clarified. Do you have any similar activity, one per action? Drop that question to Discord, guys. They will answer your questions right away. Is there any recommendation amount type of terrain for the game? I mean, most of the cases we ask to use like standard terrain. So when I say standard terrain, I mean it means that a what's the name? One second, I'll show you. So nothing fancy really, because it's not needed. The game doesn't operate really on the terrain itself. The game does not operate not much on the terrain. I mean, terrain is 1-0, so you can use any type of straight walls. You can do, well, that terrain is basically from StarCraft, provided with the starter box, but you can basically build any type of this type of walls. I mean, that's that was only a prototype one. It's 3D printed. It's not plastic injection. We already have in plastic injection, but I have this one on the table just to show you. So in general, this is what it is. And ramps. So the ramps you will find in the rules will explain exactly how the ramps works. But don't be that much focused on terrain itself, because terrain itself is not that much mandatory in this game. We had this discussion on Discord. People were saying why we're not using ledgers, and why there's no. We had this one in the rules initially a few months ago, and that was a big problem, because the game focus, instead of being focused on the game, it was focused on something completely else, and we decided not to include that one in the game itself. So we decided to remove that one from the game and make it very simple, quite simple game in terms of the terrain. So yeah, I don't have it to show you. I mean, yes, you can still report it. You can still report it, that game. Just mention in the comments, in the main comments, that this has been played solo, just for us to have understanding. The most important is your feeling about the game, and about the rounds. So the force field is that do Raptors ignore force field in purpose of movement? Do they say that they ignore any type of miniatures or models on the table or terrain? In terrain, yes, they do. The token which is placed on a table is terrain token. So yeah, close combat phase. Do we have to do close ranks action before attacking? If possible, yes. You do close ranks before you are going to make any range attacks. A Marine on a high ground can basically see every main dot obscured on the map, yes. Well, effectively, yes. On the high ground, Marine's got size 2. On the high ground will be size 5. So you can see mainly through everything on the board itself. Now, if you look top down, like through line of sight, you're still going to be able to see those models in most of the cases. So effectively, the system we have, it is very, very similar to the system we have is very similar to a true line of sight. Yes, there will be some Broad War variants of the units in the future.
Will we be at BlizzCon?
I hope so.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet or anything. But yeah, hopefully, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Just note the optional parts will be available not alone, but they're gonna be available in different part of in different boxes. So if you want like a full strain of Zerglings, you're gonna have to buy additional Zergling box because, as I mentioned, it won't fit in a box. So you get only 2 out of 3 strains. At the moment, I think if you're gonna go on Discord on our channel, people will share with you. Yes, to both, maybe in the future. 2 versus 2 possible, of course it is. We have in the rules, we did mention that you can play 2 versus 2 if you want. You just share the points between each player.
Yeah, as well, when it comes to like combination factions like Raynor and Phoenix, we can maybe consider in the future, but that'll be like a standalone faction where you'd be able to mix units from the 2 factions together.
Yeah.
We have floated this possibility with like the UED, for example, featuring Zerg and Terran models.
Yeah. Okay. Dragon when? Probably at some point, yes. I cannot tell you when. So the way we're gonna do it, you can pre-order through our website. And that's going to be, we're going to have 3 ways of pre-ordering. It's either website, our website, the second our website, because last time you guys crashed the first one, and then through GameFound as well. So there's 3 ways of actually ordering. Oh yes, at some point. No. Okay guys, it's 1 hour already. It's time to finish. Please join us on Friday. Yeah?
Yeah.
On Friday, and on Friday we can